here comes the championship race. We would assume fastest time amongst the three sections will be the winner, but we expect it to come out of this third and final section. A full complement of talent before you here, as we'll show you 19 women at the line. We've had a few scratches at the last minute, most notably Mia Barnett of Oregon and Florence Caron of Penn State. But we've got the collegiate record holder in the indoor mile, Yildiz of Oregon, coming back after winning the 5,000 meters last night. Oregon now just kind of trying to put this one as far out of reach as humanly possible after putting together just a fabulous 2 days of competition, waiting for the women's shot put to go final, but we know they'll add 6 points to their total here. Their lead right now is 32 points over Illinois coming into this final individual race before we turn our attentions to the 4x4. There's some still good battles going in here as we look down the list of scoring here. Again, not updated after that shot put and still with the triple jump to be scored, and they're still working their way through the final rounds here. But you got Washington in 6 with 37 points. Minnesota just 2 points behind in 7th, and then Penn State with 38, Iowa with 40, and USC with 53. So the battle for that third place trophy is also kind of interesting to follow here as we get the racing underway in the women's 3,000 meters. It'll be Juliet Cherubet of Oregon, who finished second in the 5,000 meters yesterday, is going to try to control things here in the early going.
Yeah, and as we look at all of those scratches, Yildiz scratches and Barnett scratches, those two in particular, looking at the team title being locked up, I think just provides an opportunity for them to think about, hey, do we need to double you back when you have big things coming up from an NCAA championship perspective? We've had, a great championship so far. Let's have some other Ducks go out there and try and get the win, and we can kind of relax and pull back a little bit at the end of the meet. And with that, it's all Huskies right now up at the front.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and a late scratch that just got added to our live stats here is Yildiz is also not racing in this, and I was just going to mention that because I didn't see that additional Oregon singlet here. So Oregon just going with Annika Thompson and Cherubet, who were 2/3 of that Oregon sweep at 5,000 meters yesterday, and just trying to keep the racing honest here. But Washington out with 3 in the front 4 here with Forrester, Cochran, and David Smith. Rachel Forsyth of Michigan State, they're running on the outside, hip number 3 right ahead of Thompson of Oregon. As we click through the early laps here through 600, now 800 meters to come here shortly, with everyone still racing front to back in a single pack of runners.
Yeah, and a really good opportunity for Washington here to establish themselves. They've got 4 in this one, but by having 3 up at the front, push yourself out there, try and establish the team, and also have an opportunity here. They're sitting in 6th as a team. You ran through the scores as we were starting the race. Big opportunity while there's still 4x4s to be run, but a big opportunity to move up in the standings here and see what the dogs can do.
First kilometer now complete. 10 laps on the clock as the racing continues here in the women's 3,000 meters. That women's triple jump in round 5 now. Temi Ajora of USC is the leader. So, you look at USC in 3rd place overall in that women's championship trophy race, and trying to add some points there in the triple jump. Obviously no points to come for the Trojans here on the track at 3,000 meters. Ryan Porter for the Ducks is in 2nd in that triple jump. And so we'll keep an eye on that event going on inside the oval here, as it is the final field event to be contested in these championships. Men are all down to that 1 4x4, and again, Oregon men with a 6.5-point lead on USC going into the final event, the 4x4. So a lot to look forward to in that race coming up on the track, scheduled to go off in short order after the conclusion of this race. But now we see Cherrybet moving back up, not really excited about having the Washington Huskies lead this race throughout. Annika Thompson moving up here, challenging Forrester on the outside, and Rachel Forsyth now in second position as they start to speed it up a little bit. They went 39.20 through 1,200, did a lap of 37.77 on the last lap, and I suspect this next lap will be just an ever bit slightly faster as they're now officially halfway home.
And Forsyth, the freshman, really mixing it up in here and trying to see what she can do. She ran 8:53 at BU a few weeks back and has run 4:34 in the mile, so she certainly has what it takes to be competitive here. And she's just going to see if she can hang up at the front as long as she can.
That last lap was a quarter second faster than the previous one. We saw Allie Weimer in the Minnesota Gopher jersey there, hip number 5, went back in 7th position, it looks like. Alongside her is Holly Hill of Illinois. And that last lap, 2 seconds faster than the previous one here, Declan, as we move into the final 6 laps of this 3,000 meters. Annika Thompson looking for room on the inside, trying to get back within contact with her teammate Cherrybet, but starting to go single file here just a bit, and the spread out now happening on the track as things begin to pick up.
Yeah, and it's no surprise that things are starting to string out a little bit, but as the pace ratchets down, I think we're going to see a breakaway in the next lap or two of a top 3 or 4 athletes that are going to start separating themselves from the rest, and then it'll start being a race for the back end of the points.
2,000 meters in 6:16.78, so quicker on the second kilometer than the first, where they ran in 3:09. Or at least that was the split for Cherrybet, who wasn't leading at the time. And after that little bit of surge here, now kind of a slowdown as we commonly see, kind of a gear up for the finish here. And Thompson getting allowed to go through on the inside, and taking advantage of that is Matug, who comes right alongside and in and behind Thompson. And now it is Thompson and Montug and then Forsyth, as we have 7 minutes elapsed on the track. Fiona McLaughlin of Wisconsin, hip number 4, moving on to the outside, trying to stay with this group. Cherrybet, who was leading this, now back in 5th position, with Julia David-Smith ahead of her. And now here's Rand of Penn State moving into the top 5. All kinds of changes here in the order. 3 laps to go in this women's 3K.
Yeah, Forsyth ran on that anchor leg for Michigan State in the DMR yesterday, but didn't run the 5K. So probably a little bit fresher than had she run a 5K. And keeping in mind, though, she has that great cross-country strength. She was an All-American, finished 16th, 4th in the Big Ten cross-country championships as a freshman. But she's just trying to hang in there as long as she can. She's got a strong kick in those legs as a 4:34 miler, but she needs to be there with the lap to go.
And a gear shift by Matug has now got the lead with 2 laps to go. Last lap of 35.21. Thompson can't stay with her, so Cherrybet going to hold on to the fortunes of Oregon, trying to win this 3,000 after sweeping the 5,000 meters last night. As Montug looking at the screens, I believe, trying to get a gauge of where she is in relation to the rest of the field, but she's now got herself going, and the only one who's going to try to reel her in now is going to be Cherrybet. 1 lap to go here in the 3,000 meters. The last lap, 33.09.
Yeah, Matug has really just laid the hammer down. When she took the lead with just over 600 meters to go, she really threw the hammer down and is just pressing now.
Look to the inside, another look to the inside, maybe a smile on her face now as she realizes she's going to win it and celebrates early. Why not? You've won your Big Ten indoor title in the women's 3,000 meters. Last lap of 31.72. Cherubet finishing in second. Hill of Illinois in third. Thompson of Oregon finishing in fourth. So the Ducks add some more points to their totals as they will wrap up a Big Ten Indoor Championship in short order after the conclusion of the final race on the track, the 4x4. Some great racing here in the latter stages, and Matug had plenty in the tank and won this one going away.
Yeah, Matug did a really nice job here. You see her just kind of tucked in the middle there, stayed really comfortable and relaxed even as things started winding up. That was around 600, and then here she makes that move before the 400-meter lap and looks over her shoulder, kind of gets a look and a glimpse of, hey, how's everyone else feeling? And then over those last 400 meters just pulls away, ends up doing it by just over a second, and is able to ease up as she approaches the line and celebrate a little bit.
So women's 3,000 meters.